Let me ask you something honest. How long have you been waiting? Waiting to feel confident enough, prepared enough, experienced enough, ready enough. Maybe it's that business idea you've had for 2 years. Maybe it's the gym membership you bought in January. Maybe it's a conversation you've been putting off. Or a life change you keep saying you'll make next month. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You're never going to feel ready. Not really, not fully. Not the way you're imagining. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner your life actually starts moving. Stay with me. Because this isn't about pushing yourself to burn out. It's about understanding something that could genuinely change how you operate. We've all been sold a version of starting that looks something like this. You wake up one morning. You feel clear, calm, confident. Everything aligns. And that's when you begin. But that morning, it never quite comes. There's always something slightly off. You don't know enough yet. The timing isn't perfect. You're too tired, too busy, too unsure, and so you wait. You research more. You plan more. You watch more videos about doing the thing instead of actually doing the thing. And here's what's really happening beneath all of that. You're not waiting for the right moment. You're waiting for the fear to go away. But here's what nobody tells you. The fear doesn't go away before you start. It goes away because you start. That's the part most people never reach, because they're still waiting at the beginning. Your brain is not trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect you. Every time you think about starting something new, a project, a habit, a difficult change, your brain scans for risk, and it finds some. It always does. What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if I put in all this effort and it doesn't work? So it pumps the brakes. It tells you to wait. Learn more, prepare more, be more sure. And that feels responsible. It feels smart. But what it really is fear dressed up as logic. Think about every person you admire. Every creator, every entrepreneur, every person who built something real. Do you think they felt ready when they started? They didn't. They started anyway. They figured it out as they went. And the confidence you see in them now? That came from doing the thing, not from waiting until they felt ready to do it. Here's something worth sitting with for a second. Waiting doesn't feel like losing. It feels neutral, safe, responsible even. But waiting has a cost. A quiet, invisible cost. Every month you wait, someone else is building the thing you thought of. Every week you delay, you're practicing the habit of not starting. Every day you say, not yet. That gap between who you are and who you want to be gets a little wider. And after enough time, something worse happens. You stop believing you'll ever start at all. The idea starts to feel unrealistic. The goal starts to feel like it belongs to other people. And you start quietly accepting a smaller version of your life. Not because you failed, because you waited too long to try. That's the real danger here, not failure. Permanent postponement. So how do you actually break out of this? Not with motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Not with a perfect plan. Perfect plans don't exist. You break out of it with a decision. And then a small action. Step 1. Lower the bar to the floor. The version of starting that's in your head is too big. It's the final version, the polished version, the version that already has everything figured out. Forget that. What's the smallest possible version of starting? Not the full workout, just put on your shoes. Not the entire business plan, just write one messy paragraph. Not the perfect conversation, just send one honest message. Start so small that your brain can't argue with it, because that tiny action is still a step forward, and steps forward build momentum. Step 2, set a good enough standard, not a perfect one. Perfection is just waiting with extra steps. Give yourself permission to do it badly. Post the video with a shaky audio. Send the email that isn't perfectly worded. Show up to the gym even when you're not in the mood. Done imperfectly beats not done every single time. And here's why this matters. Every time you do something imperfectly and the world doesn't end, your brain updates its threat level. It starts to realize, oh, this wasn't that dangerous. I can do this. I'm doing this. That's how confidence actually forms. Step 3. Use a start ritual, not a motivation ritual. Most people wait until they feel like starting. Flip it. Create a tiny ritual that signals to your brain, we're starting now. Make your coffee. Sit down, open the document. Put in your headphones. Press play. Not because you're inspired, but because you decided. Rituals remove the decision fatigue. They bypass the part of your brain that's looking for reasons to delay. And over time, the ritual becomes the trigger for focus automatically. Here's something I want you to really think about. Ready isn't a feeling. Ready is a story you keep rewriting with a new requirement every time you get close. First, you needed more knowledge. Then you needed more time. Then you needed more confidence. Then you needed better circumstances. The goalposts keep moving because ready was never the real goal. Starting was. The people who change their lives don't wait for readiness. They take action with uncertainty still sitting in their stomach. They move forward while feeling uncomfortable. They begin, and they figure it out from inside the experience. That's the only place real growth happens. Not in preparation, not in planning. In the doing, let's bring it home. You are never going to feel perfectly ready. That feeling is not coming. And waiting for it is quietly costing you more than you realize. 3 things to remember. 1. The fear doesn't go away before you start. It goes away because you start. 2. Lower the bar. Start smaller than feels meaningful. Small actions build real momentum. 3. Done imperfectly beats not done. Every single time, without exception. Here's what I want you to do right now. Think of the one thing you've been waiting to start. Not someday, the actual thing. And do one small piece of it today. Not tomorrow, not when the timing is better. Today. Write the first sentence. Make the first call. Take the first step. You don't need to be ready. You just need to begin